Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomats YouTube channel, guys. You've got Bert and Lanny and Bert, the YouTube's Dividend Champions of the World. We are back with another video, guys. We're talking about one tech stock. Are we talking about AI? Are we talking about Apple? Are we talking about Microsoft? No, we're not, brothers.
Forget about it. But before we do, subscribe to this channel. Give this video a nice thumbs up. Everybody, let's go. We are trying to find stocks to invest to reach financial freedom. So let's get after it and let's talk about this tech stock.
Oh, it's true. Oh, it's damn true. So, guys, here we are. We're recording this on August 1st. We made it. We made it to August, guys. Hopefully, you guys are having a great weekend here. Stock market started off on August 1st a little turbulent as the investors and analysts digested more earnings releases. Yep, just chewed it, let it come down a little bit, burn in that acid, turn that sun sideways, and they stuck it straight up. Your candy, you know what, guys. But there's a certain stock that actually is down almost 10%, trailing the last 5 days after, leading into the end of August 1st. And they're in the tech industry, I guess you'd almost call it, consumer tech, maybe, a platform per se, that both Bert and I have used a ton, and I still use quite a bit. Bert,
Yeah.
do you want to do a little bit of a reveal here, or how do you want to do this, my man?
No, I think I'll give the drum roll and you do the review, Eddie. You ready?
Joy. Guys, we are talking about not Amazon again. We're talking about eBay. Ticker symbol is eBay. Again, add this to the list, Bert. Why don't you own this freaking stock in your portfolio?
If I had a portfolio made up of just tickers that matched the company's name, I wonder how well that would perform. Hmm.
Hmm.
But
Honestly, not too bad, I don't think. I think you'd be all
no,
right.
no, this will be a fun. I'll have to think about this for a little bit. But all right. Anyway, we're talking eBay here. Yes, eBay. We all know it. The auction, the help people side hustle, sell stuff, declutter stuff, but it also helps authorize people get selling. There's a great way for people to save money buying stuff, but also a great way for people to earn money on the side. That's the beauty of what eBay brings to the table. And with the growth of Amazon, eBay has had to adjust over the years. They've had to pivot and change their platform, change how they're doing it. And I think last year, was it, Lanny? They made a big move into getting better listings for trading cards, becoming the premier platform for trading cards, which is a unique thing because there are so many people that collect baseball cards, basketball cards, Pokemon cards, wrestling cards as a hobby.
Yeah, yeah, you hit it on the head. Really doing the connection and joint venture with PSA. eBay has their vault. eBay's got the authenticity guarantee now on cards, sports cards. Yeah, as Bert said, trading cards. They actually just came out with another way to show and document graded and ungraded cards. So they went heavy into that hobby, which is great. Again, eBay's a great place, as Bert said, to sell all your secondhand items to somebody else who really is in need of it, as well as if you're in need of something, you can get something secondhand and sometimes brand new for cheaper on eBay. And
So
it's a great way to make a little extra cash too. And as Bert's been doing it, I've been doing it, and a lot of all our other friends and family have been doing it. So eBay, what they do is they obviously take a little bit of a cut from every item that is sold, approximately 13%, give or take, of every sale that occurs on there. So just always keep that in mind. And then they also take a piece, per transaction. I think it's about 30 cents still. But and recently they actually just released a new AI tool to help generate listings as well. So you can have that perfect description based on AI generation.
I was going to correct you because you said at the beginning of this it's not an AI
Ah,
stock. When I just listed something, eBay said, "Do you want me to come up with a description for you?" And it was nice. You hit the button and you're like, "Thank you. This saves so much time." So the question is, how are all these moves, how are all these innovations translating to the results? And eBay, luckily for us, just released results. The revenue was 2.5 billion, up 5%. Volume 18.2 billion for the gross merchandise volume. It was down 2%, but still you see the revenue jump up there. Earnings per share was 32 cents for the quarter, 103 for the longer period, and the operating margin is came down a little bit, 20.4% and 26.9%. So little tightening margin here for eBay, which you can see flow through to the lower earnings, but overall strong results.
Yeah, I think strong results as they continue to redefine and add more money to research and development to continue to have one of the more premier platforms to sell items, because obviously not only Amazon's there, but Facebook, Mercari. I think OfferUp might still be a thing. I think there's a few others even out there.
I haven't thought about OfferUp in forever, ever since they merged with Letgo.
Hey, how about that? So,
Yeah, it was
I think, yeah, I think a strong quarter. I think another big thing to kind of point out is their first party advertising is actually up 47%, I believe, to $341 million worth of revenue. A small component of their 2.5 billion, revenue, but nonetheless, $341 million of revenue in the second quarter, which is up again 47% alone.
beautiful. So let's look at the balance sheet here quickly for a second. I think we continue to focus on debt as we talk about companies, especially as times get tough. You want to see where the debt stands and the potential interest they're going to have. The big news is they had no change in their long-term debt. So unlike the company we just talked about here on Thursday, who saw a spike in debt, that's not the case for eBay. That is not the case for eBay. And then we'll look at the short-term piece. Let's look at the current ratio and the quick ratio here, just to see how the company's current assets and then current assets minus inventory, which we'll get to that in a second, how they're looking. That's the difference between your current and the quick. Both are 2.45x. And why is that, Laney?
Oh, because eBay technically doesn't hold inventory or longer to churn assets.
That's the beauty of the eBay model. They don't have anything that's just sitting there losing value, locked up in inventory. They're the marketplace for it. They're collecting fees on the sales from it, but they're not storing the inventory outside of the eBay vault for cards. But that's a different story.
No, yeah, 100% right. You got to love the balance sheet for eBay, allowing that to stay fluid and liquid. And
Yes.
again, we're going to talk a little bit about the metrics as well. Now, I own a little bit, I own a few $100s worth of eBay stock simply because I like to own sometimes the platforms that I use, and eBay being one of them, and they pay a growing dividend. The last dividend increase was actually earlier this year in February from 22 cents to 25 cents per share per quarter, over 13% dividend growth in this crazy time period. So you have to love that.
Yeah, so let's run through the metrics here. We're going to run through our screener, PE ratio less than the S&P, payout ratio less than 60%, history of increasing dividends, and that bonus metric, the dividend yield. That first metric, the PE ratio, their price at the time of this video is $43.56. Forward earnings are $4.16. That's a PE ratio of 10.47. Beautiful.
And again, guys, even if this was cut in half, you're looking at a 21 PE, which is still below the S&P 500. And when we look at the payout ratio, using the estimates, payout ratio is only about 24%. But again, if you even cut earnings in half, you're still only at 48%. So fairly safe dividend right there. You know that they'll pay it and continue to grow it. And Bert, they're younger to the dividend game here, aren't they?
They are. They've increased that dividend for 3 years. Their 5-year dividend growth rate is 16.6%, which doesn't factor in the 2 years of no growth in there if they've been growing it for only 3 years. And you just announced there's a pretty strong increase in this last round here. So they're quickly growing that dividend and getting up there, and which is nice, Laney. So what is their yield here? Now they've been growing the dividend, where's their yield stand?
Yeah, now that they've dropped almost 10% in the last 5 days, again, they're still up year to date about 3%. The dividend yield is now at 2.3%. So you're getting, you can argue 60 to 70 basis points higher than the S&P 500, and obviously higher than Amazon's 0% yield and Meta's or Alphabet's or Apple's yield is obviously lower than eBay. So again, for a tech company to pay this type of a dividend over 2% is pretty solid to me.
Yeah, so let's just run through the metrics here. PE 10.47, payout ratio 24%, 5-year growth rate 16%, 3 years of increase in the dividend with a yield of 2.3%. Laney, you said you own a few $100s. We're going to put you on the spot here because you said you're not looking to add new positions. You've made that clear over the last videos, but this wouldn't be a new position for your portfolio. You already own eBay. Are
That's
you
right,
adding
brother.
a position?
Yeah, you know what? I might add, possibly 3 or 4 shares at the current price. May do that the rest of this week. See where they're at. Like them at the current price. I'm up a little bit on my position because I think I grabbed them at around the 40 slash maybe a little bit less at one point in time. But again, I only own a few $100s, maybe 8 to 9 shares if I'm lucky. But don't mind owning a little bit of the platform at a small piece, but a piece that delivers dividend growth, which is what I'm also looking for my overall taxable stock portfolio.
Hey, there we have it. I'm not going to be adding, but I'm going to be watching because why not? They're undervalued. The metrics look great. They have 100% earned a spot on my watch list. So why not? Let us know, everybody. What do you think about eBay? Are you buying, watching, or are you just selling this if you own it? Let us know. We want to know if you're selling because why not? Why not?
Guys, remember, it's all about investing into passive income producing assets such as dividend growth stocks. Bert does it, I do it, the diplomats we always be buying. Ticker symbol for that is ABB. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, like this video, give it up for Bert and I. And if you haven't subscribed, that means you're either with us or you're against us, Jack. That was Bert the Hurt and Lanny from the Dividend Diplomats, over and out.